Hello everyone, my name's Debbie. I'm Mum Bear Stitchery here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, and this is a channel all about cross stitch. Today is episode 30 and this is going to be a bumper episode because it's a July and August stitching update. I had an unplanned break at the end of July and we went on family vacation, and the weekend that was meant to film, it was still chaos. I had so much laundry to do and to pack, so I just decided let's just have a little summer break. But we went to Manhattan in New York and it was fantastic. We did all the touristy things. We stayed in Midtown and it was only a 10-minute walk to Times Square. We went to see Wicked on Broadway. We saw sunset on the top of the Rockefeller Tower. I went to Central Park and went on the carousel, just all the touristy things, and it was a nice break away. We did get a little souvenir of catching COVID. It finally got us after 2.5 years, but thankfully it was super mild and we bounced right back. So saying that, I didn't stitch tall when I was in New York or when I came back until I was better because I didn't want to germ my projects. But I made up for it after that for the rest of the month. So we're just going to start from the beginning of July and kind of work up to where we are now at the end of August in as much order as I can possibly remember. And I'll throw in some plans along the way. So let's get started. At the beginning of July, I started and finished a new project, and it was this one from Lindy Stitches. I'm part of the Bird Crush Club, and this is the Western Meadowlark. We get one of these little birds every month with the overdyed thread, and yeah, the overdyed thread, some stickers, and some facts about the bird. So I started and finished this one, and I think this is the third one that I finished so far out of 8. And there's my little bird. This is stitched on 40 count sea glass Verdal by Bee Stitch Me. You'll probably hear that quite a lot today. I think quite a few of my projects are on sea glass from Bee Stitch Me. But yeah, the overdyed thread was used for the branch that the bird's sitting on and part of its wing, and it's a ThreadWorks. But that was my first little finish. After that, in July, the Black Needle Society, I signed up for their Frogwarts virtual retreat, and with that you get a box of goodies, which I've kind of put away and didn't film anything to do with that at the time, because I just opened it all and the kids ran away with some things from the box already, like as soon as it was open. But I will find and link an unboxing video so you can kind of see what kind of things you get, because you get lifestyle things and you get stitchy goodies and treats, that kind of thing. It's not all stitching related, but along with the box you get a 4-day virtual retreat that's full of games and stitching challenges, and it was so much fun. This is the second year that I've done it, but this was year 3, and the whole idea of the weekend is you earn points through all these challenges for your house and your class that you're sorted into. So I was Ravenclaw Hogwarts Library, and you can make it as stressful if you want, but you don't have to participate. But I tried really hard. And one of the projects that you get from the box is the band sampler. Each year it's based on the book for that year, and you get the project released about 2 weeks before the retreat, or a password to start the project. And if you finish it during the retreat, you get something like 100 points for your class, which is a lot. And I started and I finished it during the retreat. So this was my second finish. And that's my year 3 band sampler, and that's by Landis of the Black Needle Society. And I stitched mine all in DMC. The only thing I changed was the spells. I made a variegated DMC just to make them stand out a little bit more. And this, I think it's called Amethyst. It's an even weave from Bee Stitch, hand dyed by Stephanie. I think the called for was Beetroot by Fox and Rabbit. But I had this and it worked. It was the right shade of purple. So yeah, that was I finished the band sampler during the retreat and earned 100 points for our class. And our class did really well. We actually won the house cup. And I won a bunch of stitchy prizes, which I don't have yet. Hopefully I can show you next video. They haven't been posted out yet, but I'm excited for that. That might trigger some starts, even though I'm trying to rein in the amount of projects that I'm starting. So that was during retreat. Once I finished that, there was still a bunch of stitchy prompts to stitch for and earn points. So another whip that I pulled out was Thine is the Trick in the Treat by Prairie Moon, and I'll put where I was before. You don't need a cover photo for this one. Which way up does it go? This way. Because I also finished this one. And yeah, I was so happy to get this one done. This is Thine is the Trick in the Treat. It's on Blew Me Away 32 count by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and it's just stitched in DMC 310. And this corner up here gave me some problems. I went off somewhere in the middle, so I had to frog and fudge that corner to make everything line up and fit. But I did it, and I'm so happy to have this one done before Halloween. So that was my third finish. And yeah, after a retreat, I was kind of like burnt out stitching. So on the Sunday, I just napped after the ending ceremony. I was kind of like, I don't want to touch stitching. So I just binge watched TV for a day or two before I picked up stitching again. My next project, let me check my notes. Yeah, this one I took to New York with me, but I don't think I stitched it at all. I took it on the plane, and Maya, we had the 3 seats in a row. And Piot was on the other side, but Maya had the window seat, and I was like, can you open the window so I can stitch on the plane? And she's like, no. She's like, read your book or something. She was watching the finale of Stranger Things, and it was shining on her screen. So I sat and I read my book. So I didn't really pick this up until after we got back from New York. But this is Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Mathews, and I'll put where I was before. And I finished this one too. This one's stitched all on the call for DMC, and it's on 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart, and it's 2/2. This one was fun. It has a lot of colour changes in those little strawberries and the little flowers and things like that, but this was such a fun stitch, and it's super cute. So that's that one. Okay, we're getting through them. The next project I worked on is a mystery stitch along, and it is by the Witch Stitcher, and I'll put where I was before. It's the Supernatural Sal. It's her year-long stitch along, and this one I'm now behind on because we get a pattern I think every Friday with a break now and again. So I'm now 3 creatures behind, but here's where I'm up to. So I have the first 4. Yeah, I'm behind with the angel, the djinn, and the zombie. I love seeing people's changes that they've been making, like adaptations they've made to each of the little creatures. I've done some changes too. I did a blood moon for the werewolf. I saw someone else do that, so I just actually used the colours that were in the strawberries on the berry patch pattern. I made my siren blue and added some sparkly kryonic. I think I've done that for each of the supernatural creatures. The changeling, I just added some kryonic to the stars, and the banshee I changed to some overdyes in my stash to make her this kind of glowy grey colour with the red eyes. But I need to catch up with this one. The next creatures are all up here. So I need to get caught back up before I get too far behind and then don't want to work on it. But this is on 32 count Terra Lugana by Under the Sea Fabrics, and this was a fabric of the month this year, so it will be available in December for everybody else to buy. But that's that one. The next one was a little finish and a start, and it was from this little leaflet, the Quirky Quakers. Is it Darling Whimsy? Darling Whimsy Designs. And I started and finished the little Loch Ness monster. And this one was so cute. And this is on some sparkly, it doesn't have a label, but I'm pretty sure it's As You Wish, a 32 count linen from Under the Sea Fabrics. And my plan is to stitch 1 in each corner on this piece. It's just a little 1/8. One's for me and 3 are for gifts. So I'm just going to do a little hoop finish with a hanger once these are done. But I'm just going to use the same floss too, which is from Stitchy Stuff, which is on Etsy. They have fantastic over-dyed threads, and is it evergreen? No, Twilight Forest. So I'm just going to stitch them all in the same floss, and they'll be a nice little car project, which I'm going to be sitting a lot of in the car. Both Maya and Elena won their spots back on the competition team at karate for this next season, so there's going to be a lot of sitting around waiting on them. But Elena did get her moved up to a red belt, so she's now in the same classes as Maya, because it goes red to black, the lessons. So I've been waiting for this moment rather than sitting for double classes waiting on one coming out and one going in. They're now in the same class, different competition teams, but it's fine. It's better than it was. But there'll be a lot of car stitching. My next project that I started, I think I started it the night before I went to New York and then left it here. Just put a couple of stitches in and then picked it up once we came back. It is called The Needles Dance. It is a project by Ink Circles, Hands On Design and Summer House StitchWorkes. And I've actually stitched this one for myself already. I bought it as a kit when it came out from Acorns and Threads. I did switch out the kit fabrics. It was a witchelt fabric, but it was the same colour as this. But I switched it out for Witching Hour by Under the Sea Fabrics. But I did use Call for Threads. So I'm stitching this one again because when we went to the Under the Sea fabric retreat, was it June? Feels ages ago already. In June, it's hosted by Leslie of Under the Sea Fabrics. She just opened a new shop in San Antonio, and a bunch of us signed up to stitch models for her new shop. And so this one that she picked, or we picked together. But she picked this fabric, I think it's called Azure or Shimmering Azure. I have it in an opal for something else. But it's with the Call for Threads, but I love how bright this one looks, like on the brighter fabric. It makes it look completely different. It really makes the pink flowers like pop and look really springy. So this is where I am. I'm going to keep working on this one. That's why it's on the queue snack, because I want to get it back to her as soon as possible. So yeah, I can't wait to work on this one some more. It's my first model stitch for anyone, so I hope it looks alright. But that's a fun one. And it's been so long since I stitched mine, it doesn't feel like I'm stitching something like double, because I don't really do that very often. Stitch anything more than once. But I really like that one. Okay. Oh, we're on a new page of notes. My next project was a new start, and I'll have to put a cover photo in here. It is Quaker Turtle by Aury TM. I think it actually came out, it wasn't Market, was it Needlework Expo last year? Or Market? I've wanted to start for forever. I just haven't found the right fabric thread combination. But World Cross Stitch Day was August the 12th, was that right? So I started that for this. And I've started with the head. And again, this is on 40 count even weave from Be Stitch Me in the colour Sea Glass. And you can see the colour of the thread. It's super pretty. It's Blue Hawaii by Gloriana. And it's kind of like turquoise, aqua, and it's really nice to stitch with, especially on the 40 count even weave. But I don't know if I'm going to work on this one this month. If it is, it'll be to pick up and maybe put a couple of strands of floss in. But I really do like stitching this one. And that actually stitched up pretty fast. That was like a weekend, just getting his head done. The next project is a fan favourite, and probably my favourite project that I have right now that I'm working on, and it's Hippo Reflection. It's a full coverage chart by Artecy, and I will put where I was before. And this project I'm trying to do a page a month on to finish it by the end of the year, and right now I'm on track still. So since you saw it last, I have finished 2 pages. I finished up the 2 down the bottom here, his reflection in the water. But Oh, I love him. I've marked up the page I'm going to do next is this one here. I think I'm going to save the one with his eye for last, just because it kind of completes his face. So I'm going to do that one. Yeah, this one here, because it looks like it has the most confetti left of all the pages that are left. So I kind of just want to get that one over and done with. But this is also known as Ned the Head. But this is stitched on 25 count, easy count, 1/1 bill cross with just DMC. And that's him. And right now he's on track to be finished in December. There we go, that's Ned. And I may have tentatively picked my, I'm calling it my PAM project, my page a month project for the start of 2023. No, I'm not going to say yet, because I'm still undecided, but so far it might be a 6-month project and it'll be finished. But my PAM project. The next little project was a start and a finish, and I haven't fully finished this one yet. It is a Mill Hill kit called Bear Canoe, and I just did that one. I think I might pop to either Joann's or Michael's today and pick up some felt. I just put glue felt on the back and a little hanger, and he will make it onto the tree this year. But I really love these Mill Hill kits. Like, they're super quick to stitch up, and I like making an ornament for the tree every year. I try to do one for our tree, like the big tree in the living room, and then the kids each have like a tiny tabletop tree in their room. So I'm going to try and stitch a Mill Hill kit for their trees again this year, which I haven't started yet. So I need to get on that because it's almost September. But this is Bear Canoe by Mill Hill. And I love the little moon charm that comes with this one. I think this was from the summer collection this year. My next project, yeah, it was started and finished since I last saw you. And this is for the kitandcaboodlesal that Kenny Stitches and I started and are hosting. And I have to thank so many of you for joining in, and it's been amazing seeing what kits people have chose to like work on, because the idea of this stitch along is to start a kit, one each month, and September is going to be month 3. So if you want to join in, feel free to join out whenever you like. If you want to just follow the hashtag and see the amazing kits that people have in their collection, I highly recommend that, especially if you love stitching kits. I love seeing the different kits based on where people are in the world. It shows such variety in what they choose to stitch or what they have in their collection for what's available to them. But I really enjoyed it so far. So this was my first kit, and I started this one in July. And I just actually finished it the other day. And it is called Cardinal Joy. And it's a Dimensions mini banner kit. There seems to be a whole series of these. And it comes with the little metal hanger and some bells to put on the bottom. The finishing instructions are a little bit like a different language. I've read them multiple times, and I actually saw somebody else finish this exact kit, and I asked them, how did you get on with finish it? And they were like, oh, glue was involved. And I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's what I was going to resort to. So I think I might just put a little bit of batting behind it and then glue some felt on the back and attach it to the hanger, because I've read the instructions. I was like, I still don't understand what I have to do, and it doesn't seem like it should be that complicated. So unless there's a YouTube video out there on how to finish these up, glue will be involved. But I finished this one. I used kit floss, kit fabric. I think it's just a 16 count ivory Ada. But yeah, that was my first finish from the kitandcaboodlesal. My August project that I started was a really old kit that was in my collection for the kitandcaboodlesal, and it was this one. It's called Holding Hands. It's by Sunset, which are or were Dimensions, I think. But typically, like Dimensions, there's a lot of blends, there's a lot of half stitches and different amounts of threads. And I didn't actually get round to this project until this week. And you'll see why in a couple of minutes. Something else took my attention, but I don't think this one will take that long to stitch up. A lot of the background is half stitch, just in different colors or blends or different thickness of threads. So I don't think this one will take that long once I actually come back to it. And now that it's started, I do want to come back to it, but I took out the Q-snap, so it has no hope right now to be picked up or worked on like in the immediate future. But this is where I got to. I just started on the little girl. I'm using the kit fabric, which is a 14 count Ivory Ada. I actually lost a bit of momentum on this one trying to sort out the threads because the thread just came in a big knotted bundle and a lot of the colours were really similar. So it was just by elimination that I managed to work out. But by that point I'd already lost motivation to work on it because I spent so long trying to sort the threads out. But yeah, I love working on that one. But I'm excited to move on to something else right now. But now that it's started, it's easier to pick back up and actually work on. And going into September, my next Kit and Caboodle new start is going to be this little one from Lanarte. It's Art of Marjolaine Baston. And it doesn't actually have a name on the kit or on the chart or anything like that. It just says Lifestyle Collection 34362. But looking online, I actually saw this, people were calling this one Garden Dweller. And I think it's part of a bigger chart because I have a big Lanarte kit that looks like it has this little bird on the brush in it too. But this is a cute little kit. It comes with a floss. I won it as a giveaway from someone on Instagram, and it has printed even weave that it comes with. It's just a sort of mottled ivory color, but this one doesn't look like it'll take that too long. But I'm excited to start this one. So I didn't get round to stitching much on the Holding Hands kits because I pulled out another whip that I had in my stash. And I was thinking, oh, I'll work on this 25 minutes a day to try and push through the sort of last big chunk that I had left, and I'll put where I was before. This is Giants of the Sea. It's again another sunset kit. And I was thinking, yeah, if I just make this a 25/7 project and just push through this last bit, because I had 2 mountains to do, the water, yeah, back stitch, that French knots, the whole lot. But it was boring. After I'd finished the orcas, it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to pull it back out now. That's not fun. But I did, and 25/7 got me another finish. So this is Giants of the Sea, and it is finished. And I absolutely love it. I swapped out the kit fabric for 28 count Picture This Plus Arctic, and I did have to use 3 strands when it only called for 2 on the orcas. And yeah, I think the black on the orcas and the dark grey on the orcas, because there was just a bit too much see-through. So that was the only thing I really changed apart from the fabric, was using 3 strands where it only called for 2 on the orcas, just to give them that nice jet black body. I did the French knots last, and the back stitch. I saved that till last. But I don't know what else to say. I absolutely love this one, and I'm going to take this one to go get professionally framed. It deserves it. And I can't wait to have this one on my wall. And this was actually a Mania project too. So that means coming May, I get to swap it out with a new project, because I stitch on a project each week. And if I finish the project within the year before, I get to swap out for something new. So that's exciting too. In May, that'll get to start on a new animal project. And this kit, I do see it's been coming up quite a lot on eBay recently for about $40. It has been popping up, so if it's something you're interested in, put a search there and you can have that one too. So that means now I need to pick a new 25/7 project, because that one really helped, just pulling it out for like an episode of a TV show, or picking a Flosstube episode that was about 25-30 minutes long. it really made me push through, and just knowing that I could put it down in like 30 minutes, it was good. And eventually by the end of the month it got me to a finish. So I need to pick another project that's got a bit stagnant and just needs that little push to keep going. But speaking of plans, in what month are we going to do? September. For Sampler September, the hashtag on Instagram, I was going to start something new, but then I was like, no, work on something you have already, because I have a lot of whips and I don't mind that, but the space that they occupy has grown, so I'd like to whip down a little, not start as much stuff, and yeah, just try and contain them to like one unit rather than 2 or 3 and looking like we're sponsored by IKEA. So I would like to start finishing some things. Even though starting stuff's fun, I would like to work on some of my bigger projects. So that's not all I have left. So Sampler September on Instagram, I am going to work on Sans Susie. Here's a cover photo here. And here is where I am right now, or will be starting from. This was 4 pages and there is 5 more to go. So for definite, I would like to get that center page as a minimum done. So I'm hoping just by putting a couple of strands of thread in every day, I'll be able to get that done. This is in DMC 3812 and it's on 32 count Ulgana Sea Glass by Under the Sea, Be Stitch Me. And yeah, I love this one. So that's where I'm starting from. 5 pages to go. Aiming for 1 this month. 2 would be fantastic, but 1 would be great too. Also in September, Cat Talks and Miss T and Stitches on Instagram are hosting a Santa September 22 stitch long, and the idea is to work on something with Santa. And originally I was going to work on a stocking, a Dimensions kit stocking that was for Maya, and I showed her it today and she's kind of like, oh, is that for me? I was like, do you not like it anymore? And she's like, no, I liked it when I was 7. And it's Santa and a cat. In fact, I've already put it away. And she's like, I don't like that one. So we went on 123 Stitch today and she picked out a new Stony Creek one with a raccoon and deer and squirrels and stuff like that on it. And I ordered that to stitch for her because I have finished Elena's stocking. It just needs made up into an actual stocking. So I'd rather have one that she actually liked rather than me working on this one and she not liking it afterwards. So ordered a new stocking. But for the Santa September 22 stitch long, I am now going to work on this little Mill Hill kit. I like stitching these Jim Shore ones. I haven't stitched a Santa yet. I've stitched quite a few of the snowmen that are in his line, and it comes with the thread, the beads and the perforated paper. So I thought it was cute. So that's my Santa project in the meantime to tide me over. Another stitch along that I'm going to join, I was watching Teeny Weeny Stitches and Kitschy Whips, and they were talking about Soda Stitch Saturday, the hashtag on Instagram, and I love Soda Stitch. I've stitched quite a few of them, and I finished the wizards this year, the little abracadabra wizards, and I have a couple in my whip bins here. But I really do want to start the kitten, the sewing cats, where it's like the tiered tray, because I've finished the cake bears, which is the other tiered tray. But I was told myself, before you start something new, finish one that you have. So for Soda Stitch Saturday, I'm going to work on Teacup Girls, and I'm only stitching one of these, and it's this one here. I like the little girl reading in the book, so that's like my favorite thing, is reading in the bath when we had one. California right now is very hot, and a hot bath is the last thing you want to have. But the aircon's just come on. That means it's like over 80 because I turned it all the way up to try and keep it off while I was doing this, but it's hot. That means it's hot. But this is where I'm starting from. So all I have is her book. I think I started this as a mania project way back when I was starting 20, 30 projects, one a day for mania, and this is where it's sat since then. So yeah, all I have is a tiny book, And this is the printed fabric from Swagger. I think it's called Mint Splash. It's a Lugana 32 count. And you can get it in the pink and the charcoal color too. But I absolutely love this color. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be starting from. My little teacup girl. That one there. And maybe if I finish that, my next Solo Stitch Saturday pattern will be the Sewing Cats. So that is all the stitching that I have for 2 months. That was a lot of finishes. I think it was like 7 or 8 finishes. So let's get going. Maybe this pile will come down eventually, but I have a little bit of stitchy shopping to show you before you go. I've been seeing a lot of other floss tubers join Teresa Kogut's Patreon, and I've never joined a Patreon before, so I went and had a look what that was all about, and the Witches got me. This is one of the charts. It was for August. I absolutely love this, and this will be an October start. I just need to pick out some fabric for that one. But she has a really good information about her Patreon. Before you sign up, the tier levels are super clear. She has a video explaining how everything works, how to access everything. She's super engaging, and I don't regret for a second joining up. I've only heard good things about it. So I joined tier 3, and the only reason I didn't join tier 4, tier 3 was $13 a month. Tier 4, the only reason I didn't join tier 4 was the extra thing you get is like a stitch along that's going on right now, and I've missed like 3 or 4 months of it, but there's going to be a continuous stitch along once that one finishes, so I may move up to tier 4 at some point. But so far, the amount of free patterns, content, how engaging she is, $13 a month is well worth it. And I will put the link to her Patreon and the information down below, as well as everything else that I can link in case you want to find some of the patterns or charts. I will link in the little box below. Amazon Prime Day sale. If you add a bunch of, like, I love dimensions kits, so I always have some sitting on my wish list, and they sort of recommended on Prime Day, like, here's some of your stuff that you like on sale. Would you like it? I'm like, yes. So I picked a couple of kits on discount. So this is one of the newer Dimensions Gold kits, and what is it called? In the Shadows. And I'm not in love with the new white packaging of Dimensions Gold. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. But I really like this one, so this might make it into the Kit and Caboodle Sal at some point. It's on 18 count Ada. The other one has been in and out my cart for the longest time, and it is the Wolves, and this one's called In Harmony. I love that one. And it has Hip Navy Ada. And the last one that I picked up was Lakeside Village, another gold collection kit. And like scenery, like I usually pick things that have animals in it. That's just more what I'm drawn to, but it's not usually just like scenery like on its own. But I love the colors of the buildings on this one. So yeah, I was just drawn to this one, so I picked that one up. Speaking of Amazon, I pre-ordered the Emma Congdon, who is Stitchrovia. I pre-ordered her 3rd book before it came out, and they delivered in the last month or 2. Cross Stitch for the Heart. This isn't my favorite book of hers. I have the other 2. The animal one is definitely my favorite, her 2nd book, but this one has some really pretty designs in it, and they probably make nice gifts for some people. I like this one, the family one. But yeah, this one super bright and colorful, right up my alley. I love Emma Congdon designs. Okay, I'll tip my bear box sideways. Everything gets put in here until I make a video. So the other day when I was preparing stuff, it's kind of like almost like a surprise because it's been in there for like 2 months. Like I said, I'm in Lindy Stitch's Bird Crush Club. So the next 2 were the American Avocet. And there is the chart, or the cover. It's probably going to get done on Sea Glass too. And the other one is Lewis's Woodpecker. and that is the photo that it's based on. And with both of those came with the stickers, the information card, and one overdyed thread that's required to stitch it. The next couple of things, oh, these all came together, were Satsuma Street, which comes out with Halloween ornaments every year. I think it's about 4. Last year I only got one of them that was my favorite because I'd never bought a kit from her before, so I just got one to try it out, and it was this one here, the little raven, and he's finished up. He's got felt on the back, a little hanger, and everything came in the kit: the perforated paper, the beads, the sequins, the floss, and the rest I had in my finishing stuff. So that was a little raven from last year. I think this one's called Nevermore. But this year I saw on her site it was cheaper if you bought all 4 of the new ones together. So I picked them up. So this is Hoppy Halloween. This is my favorite out of all of them and will be the first one started. Haunted Hearse. Fun Guy. And Ice Cream. And again, they're super bright, super colourful, totally me. So they will probably be October starts, if not this month. I picked this up from 123 Stitch. Every time I go to order it, it's been out of stock on 123, so I finally just grabbed it while it was there. And it is Wicked Witch by La Di Da. And I just grabbed it after we saw Wicked on Broadway. I was like, oh, I want all the Wicked Witch cross stitch things. So the last couple of things are in the Supernatural Stitch Along group. I think it's the actual dyer I saw post up this floss, and it's Dying for Sass on Etsy, and it's Gothic Rainbow. They had stitched the lettering in this colour and it was absolutely beautiful, so I picked up a baby hank from her. Silks for You. I won a giveaway. The idea was to send a colour palette into them, and the top 5 that they picked, they would dye up as a hank and then you could vote on them. But if your hank got dyed up, you got the actual hank if you were the one who sent it in. So this is the colours I picked. It's brighter than I thought it was going to be, but it's absolutely beautiful. The rust with the blue and the navy. I have no idea what to stitch in this one. And this does have an actual number on their website, I think, recently. Mine just says Deborah on it. But I think that one's discounted this month on their website for this month only. And the winner of the overall winner, which is what I got, they sent a gift voucher too. So while I was stuck at home with COVID, I shopped. So I got this one, which is PR 174. The kind of golds and greens and purples. I don't know, this just makes me think of Mardi Gras, New Orleans colours. But I absolutely love their silk. So that's PR 174. And the other one I picked up was PR 1921. I need to put these in better bags with better labels because they're kind of just in little ripped up bags. But love that one too. No idea what I'm going to stitch on it. Maybe a long dog sampler when I eventually finish this one. Maybe start another one. I picked up these from Mad for Minders. The Jasmine Beckett Griffith artwork. I actually have the print of this from Jasmine's website. She sells her prints, strangeline.com I think it's called. It's behind the bear. There's actually 3 of them behind there that I bought from her. I love that one. And the little toad in clothes. Had to get that one. The very last things that I picked up, Mystic Fabrics. I joined their Facebook group. I've never bought any fabrics from her before, so I bought some to try out when she ran every, is it June or July? She does a bunch of Pride fabrics and she donates like proceeds to charities, and they looked phenomenal. So I ordered one. I ordered a 32 count Lugana, and this one's called Love Who You Love, and this is the exact color. It's super bright rainbow. No idea what I'm going to stitch on it. Probably something with a lot of black, or like solid black, so the colors can shine through from behind. Currently no idea, but absolutely love that. And given that she only does those ones like once a year, it seems like, I thought I had to grab it at the time. And so the fabric couldn't travel alone. I picked up one other piece, and this is the last thing, from her ready to ship or regular line. I think it was ready to ship though. And this one's called Dreamy, and it's 32 count opal linen. And it's like this dark teal. Love the sparkle on it. But I love the feel of her linens and would definitely order again. So let me double check. Yep, the bear head is empty. That's all I have for you this month. I hope you come back next month if you like what you've seen, and I will most definitely try and be here at the end of September because I have a lot of projects lined up. So until then, I hope you have a safe and stitchy month, and I will see you at the end of September. Bye!